Alright, you guys, welcome. Here we are. Let me just move this stuff around for me here. Alright, it's very good. Okay, so I'm going to make a quick little video on Unit 2's project. This one spans the entire unit, so there'll be a couple things that you guys will need to do here. The first thing that I'll have you guys do is you'll have to do practice using a dichotomous key to analyze some different leaves and determine what type of species they come from. And to kind of just quickly go through this, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but the information is all there on your side. You can't see it all on my screen. You'll see a lot more information. But you will need this document right here, okay? And with this document, you guys, here are several different leaves that you can practice this with. You always start up here at the top. Okay, and using this different information, you'll then say, okay, it'll tell you where to go. So it's kind of like a little roadmap thing, kind of fun, until to the point where it says, okay, you've met this criteria. We know that this tree is that this leaf came from a buckeye tree. Okay, so for example, if we did, I want to do one that you haven't maybe done yet. So like, let's say A. Okay, so is A compound leaf? If we look at it, it says leaf divided into leaflets. This is a compound leaf right here. This is actually one leaf, but it's made out of a bunch of different little leaves. This is not a compound leaf. And so we would say, okay, no, it's not. So we're going to go to step 2. A simple leaf. Yes, it is. So we're going to go to step 4. Okay. So right here, a leaf whose edges have no lobes. So let's look at it. Does it have lobes to it? I think when it means lobes, it's talking about this right here. And so since it doesn't have lobes, we're going to go to step 5. So it's a heart-shaped leaf that has veins branched from the base. And we can see that's what's happening here. And so we know that this is a redbud, that this leaf came from redbud. So you can see how this kind of works there, how you'll use those to answer these questions. And so leaf A, we know it came from a leaf bud identification pathway. We would just map that we went from 1A to 1B. Oh, did I do this wrong? A compound leaf. Oh, no, we're good. Okay, so we went from 1B to 4, okay? Then we went to step 5A, okay? And so you just label that pathway that we went to, all right? So that's the first part of this lab, pretty simple, all right? The second part of this lab, what you'll do is a investigation with fungi, okay? Now this one's kind of interesting. It's going to be more of a hands-on lab. I'm going to do the lab with you right here. I would in a very quick way. And I want you guys, you can then use this if you want, or you can do it at home to really analyze. The first thing you'll need is a cup of water, okay? And I've got a beaker here that I'm going to use. Okay, all right, so a cup of water. Then you'll need just yeast, normal yeast that you can buy at the store, put in and make bread, okay? Yeast is fungus, kind of interesting. And then you'll need some sugar. All right, so here we go. So what you'll do first, and it doesn't say it on my instructions, but on your end it does. I've got it pulled up here. So it says first you'll need to construct a data table that will allow you to take notes, observations of colors, size, shape, activity, and type of activity for the yeast. So make sure that you are doing that. I'm not going to do that for you, but I will explain some stuff that I observe. And again, if you can do this at home, I would recommend you doing it, okay? And I'm hoping that the camera is well enough that you guys will be able to see some of this stuff. It says, open the packet of yeast, measure out 1 tablespoon. So I've got my little tablespoon measurement here. Let me clean it out, though. It's got some stuff from another lab. All right, so I'm going to get some yeast, tablespoon. And here I'll show you. So this is what yeast will look like there, okay? Got my water. I'm going to dump it in to my water. Right now, what I'm observing, it's all floating up at the top, okay? Starting to settle down to the bottom and kind of just mix in, okay? So then what it says to do is, let's see. Yep, so we just want to let it sit there and record my observations. So some stuff that you guys can see, the water is turning like a milky yellow color. But yeah, the yeast is just, it's now dissolved is kind of what it looks like in the solution. It's down at the bottom, so it's kind of compiling there at the bottom. Okay, and if I just let it sit here, I'm not seeing a ton of activity other than just the change in color and stuff like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is add some sugar to it. And it says to add 3 tablespoons. All right, and I'm just going to let it do its thing. Okay, so I've got the sugar in there at the bottom. Let me get a spoon, I'll mix it up real good. All right, I'm back. One other thing that might be helpful is heating up the water, making it a little warmer. I just used just normal water temperature, so this might take a little longer for it to speed up. But anyways, so I'm gonna just let that sit there for a little bit. While it's sitting there, you guys, let's go over the last part. And so the last part of this lab is basically just you analyzing the data from this, okay? So there will be some questions that you will need to answer as you are from the observations and things that you make from this. So when we're looking at this, I do smell something going on there. It smells like yeast, you know, sourdough bread. But anyways, things are moving around in the water there. There's bubbles starting to form at the bottom. Yeah, there's bubbles starting to form up at the top. I don't know if it's hard to see. I'm sorry, you guys. Let's see. Is that better? Probably not. No, it's not better at all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes, and then what I'll do is I'll come back and show you guys what it'll kind of look like at the end. Okay, so hang on. It'll be a split second for... Oh, I'm frozen. There we go. This computer is getting old. So it'll be a split second before, for you guys, it'll be about 10-15 minutes for me. All right, you guys, I'm back here. Let's just close that. All right, so it's kind of hard to see, and I was hoping it'd get better, but it's not. But basically, you guys, a couple things that I'm observing here is there's small bubbles that are starting to come up from the bottom, just making bubbles there. Usually, if you let this sit long enough, the bubbles will get really big because it's just overwhelming, right, of what's going on. Anyways, there's a smell coming off of it. Like, there's definitely stuff going on in this solution. Okay, but the biggest thing is bubbles are forming. I'm trying to see if I can find any good ones. I can't. So anyways, if you can do this at home and just let it sit for a while, and then I'd highly recommend, I should have done this, it would have made it better, but use warm water, and that would really get them activated really quickly. And so you guys, to kind of answer this, to kind of go through this idea, the main goal of fungus is to digest. They're decomposers in an ecosystem, in an environment. They help break down dead material and return nutrients back into the soil. And that is what yeast does as well. It's actually taking sugars, breaking it down, and what it's doing, and that's what helps make the bread rise, is it's releasing carbon dioxide. It's air that's getting released out. And it's just showing simply that it's doing what it's supposed to. It's digesting material. Okay, and so hopefully you guys can better understand fungus from this lab, get some data from this, and kind of correlate what you saw in this lab, which you didn't see because the camera's so bad. I need to upgrade and get like a nice lab camera or something to like show you guys demonstrations. But anyways, just know that there's if you want, I would recommend doing this at home. It's super cheap. Just a little bit of yeast and sugar water will do. Okay. Anyways, but take note of what you see happening there, and kind of correlate that to what is the characteristics of a fungus. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Talk to you later.